Chapter 3, Money Mastery, Building Wealth Through Discipline. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much discipline you keep. The money illusion. Money is one of life's biggest paradoxes. Everyone wants more of it, yet very few master it. Some people think wealth comes from luck. Others believe it's intelligence or being born into privilege. But history has shown over and over again, money follows discipline. That's why athletes, artists, or even lottery winners who come into sudden wealth often lose it just as quickly. They had the talent, they had the windfall, but without discipline, it all slipped through their fingers. Meanwhile, quiet, ordinary people who live with consistency, who save, invest, and resist lifestyle traps slowly build fortunes that outlast them. Why money reflects discipline? Money is neutral. It doesn't make you good or bad. What it does is amplify who you already are. If you're disciplined with $1,000, you'll multiply $10,000. If you're reckless with $1,000, you'll lose $10,000 even faster. Financial discipline is not about denying yourself joy. It's about creating freedom. The freedom to walk away from a toxic job. The freedom to seize opportunities when they appear. The freedom to sleep at night without debt weighing on your chest. In short, money without discipline is chaos. Money with discipline is power. The enemies of wealth. If you want to understand why most people never build financial security, look no further than these four enemies. Impulse spending, the instant dopamine hit of swiping for something you don't need. Lifestyle creep, the invisible thief where every raise or bonus vanishes into upgrades. Debt dependence, living today on tomorrow's money, trapping yourself in interest cycles. Comparison culture, chasing an image to keep up with people who often look rich but are actually broke. Each of these can sabotage a person's financial life. Conquer them, and you've already put yourself ahead of most. Blueprint 1, Pay yourself first. Here's the golden rule: if you don't save before you spend, you will never save at all. Most people wait to see what's left at the end of the month. The problem? There's rarely anything left. Expenses always expand to fill the income available. The disciplined approach is simple: the moment money comes in, you pay yourself first. Even if it's small. 5%, 10%, or even 1% at the beginning. The habit matters more than the number. Over time, that little act of discipline compounds into freedom. Blueprint 2, Systems beat willpower. Discipline with money isn't about being strong. It's about building systems that protect you from yourself. Automate your savings. If the money never touches your spending account, you can't accidentally spend it. Use separate accounts. Have one for bills, one for spending, one for saving. Compartmentalization makes it harder to slip. Create rules, not decisions. For example, I never buy electronics on credit. Or 10% of all income goes to investments automatically. When money management becomes automatic, you conserve willpower for bigger challenges. Blueprint 3, Master the budget mindset. Budgets have a bad reputation. People see them as restrictive, boring, or painful. But here's the truth: a budget is not a prison. It's a plan for freedom. Think of a budget as assigning every rand a job. If you don't give it a job, it will wander off. A simple framework like the 50/30/20 rule works for most. 50% for needs. 30% for wants. 20% for savings/investments. But the percentage doesn't matter as much as this principle: be intentional. If you tell your money where to go, you'll always know where it went. Blueprint 4, Delay gratification. We live in a culture of buy now, pay later. But every time you buy today with tomorrow's money, you steal from your future. Discipline is the art of waiting. Not forever, but until you can afford it without stress. That waiting does two things. It filters wants from needs. Half the time, the desire fades. It builds confidence, because you know you're in control, not your impulses. Think about it, how many regrets in life come from things we didn't buy versus things we bought too quickly? Almost none. Case example, the debt spiral. Imagine two young professionals starting their careers. Person A buys a car on credit, upgrades their phone every year, eats out constantly. They look successful. But they're always stressed, always waiting for payday, always one crisis away from collapse. Person B drives a modest car, invests 15% of their salary, and resists lifestyle creep. 10 years later, they own assets, not liabilities. Their stress is low, their options are high. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It's discipline. The psychology of spending. Here's something most people overlook: money management is more emotional than mathematical. Why do we buy things we don't need? To cope with stress. To impress others. To distract ourselves from discomfort. That's why one of the most powerful questions you can ask is: am I buying this to grow, or am I buying this to cope? If it's the latter, step away. Your bank account will thank you. Building wealth through discipline. Let's be clear, discipline alone won't make you rich. But without discipline, no amount of income can save you. Wealth is the byproduct of thousands of small, boring, disciplined choices. Choosing to invest instead of upgrade. Choosing to save instead of splurge. Choosing to delay instead of indulge. The good news? Anyone can start today. You don't need a six-figure salary. You just need the willingness to live below your means and above your impulses. Reflection prompts. Pause here for a moment. Ask yourself: what was the last purchase I regret and what emotion drove it? Do I control my money, or does my money control me? If I stayed on my current path for 10 years, where would I end up financially? What one disciplined rule can I put in place today that my future self will thank me for? Closing: wealth is a discipline. Money reveals who you are. It doesn't lie. If you're reckless, it shows. If you're intentional, it shows. The truth is, wealth doesn't come from big wins. It comes from small disciplines repeated over years. It's not about the jackpot. It's about the blueprint. So the next time you're tempted to buy now and figure it out later, remember, your future self is watching. Every rand you spend is either a chain